I did want to do quickly just some trade predictions that I had. There was a
Oh,
lot of hot names on the market. I wrote down a bunch, but we can just list it down to the top three that I think will actually happen.
sure.
A lot of the other ones were just possibilities that could happen. Um, I think one that will definitely happen. I don't know if this is going to be the correct team. It's my prediction. I definitely think Matt Chapman's leaving Oakland. I said that he's going to the Blue Jays
Ooh.
in a blockbuster deal. I think having Matt Chapman is the final piece to the puzzle. Because I seriously think if the Blue Jays get Matt Chapman, I think they can win the division. Like I'm that high on Toronto heading into this year, especially getting Kevin Gosman and Nate Pearson's finally getting into MLB form. I have him going to Oakland, and in return, the Blue Jays give up Gunnar Hoglund, who I believe is one like their second
Oh,
best pitcher.
Gunner.
No, they're bringing with what your list is. I'm sure you're going to mention it. They're giving up a lot of big prospects.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gunnar Hoglund, Jordan
Yeah,
Groshans, who's a
Yeah.
shortstop, third
That's
baseman,
that's a
and
price tag.
that's
and
hefty.
and Hagen Denner, who's like a little lower of a right-handed pitcher, but he's still within their top prospects. I know it's hefty, but guys, you got to think like the Blue Jays are in win now mode, and I think they are. I mean, in that
Very
division, I
close.
I think, but they won 90 games last year. I think if you add Matt Chapman's power and defense on third base, like I just think that lineup can be really explosive. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I thought it could just
If
be really interesting.
if I may, there's two players that I would consider giving up a package like that for, and Chapman is not one of them. I would have to
Okay.
say that I'd be willing to part with Groshans and Hogland for Jose Ramirez and Ketel Marte, and
Yes.
I'd hang up the phone on anyone else
Hmm.
if that's the
Oh,
ask.
okay.
I
Okay.
think that's a little too much for Matt Chapman, but for that
Okay.
package, I would need one of those two guys, those premier infielders that I think you can bring in and really shore it up and make up for that loss of Simeon. I don't know if Chapman really fills that hole as well as you need to fill that hole at the
Okay.
moment.
All right.
I
That's
think I
fair.
think you can hold a little bit.
It
Yeah.
was it was a shot in the dark. I was
Yeah.
fuck it, like why not? Like third
We're
base.
very attached to our prospects here. We
Yes.
haven't had a good farm system in a while.
Yeah, but Mario, like, what are your? Like, I mean, he
It's very
probably
quick. I was very upset when they got Barrios and they traded away
Yeah.
their draft pick, Austin
Austin
Martin,
Martin.
who was terrific. I got to watch him a little bit in Vanderbilt. He was terrific down there. I really don't like the Jays. And this is just a baseball thing in general. I don't like when baseball teams, unless you're the Dodgers or the Yankees and you're in that absolutely contending now mode and you don't have a place to put your prospects, that's when you can deal with them. The Jays aren't in that situation. They can use and get a lot of use in the upcoming years
Yeah,
from their prospects. So I'm not a big fan of if they were to do that with Chapman, it'd be terrific and
yeah.
do work wonders. That's a potent offense, but not worth paying that.
I was gonna say though, I actually like you. I wasn't a fan of that Austin Martin deal because I thought he could be like the next Nolan Arenado. Like I think like he's just that great. I
He's
mean,
got a high ceiling.
he's the fourth pick in the draft. Like
But there's a lot of power concerns with Austin
that
Martin.
was
You
the
There
watch the
issue.
is.
I
seasons.
There
was
is.
gonna get
He's got
into that.
very little pop. And honestly,
I,
the fact that they were able to give Barrios such a huge extension, I'm fine with it. I'm
That's what
fine with
I
it.
was gonna say. I think that, but I think sometimes when you're dealing with positions, not every position is going to offer power. I think
Yeah.
Martin offered defense, but I think the reason why the Jays ended up winning the deal is because they were
They
able to re-sign
extended.
Barrios.
Exactly. That was for me as well.
If they hadn't, I think that would have been a loss because then
Mhm.
it's like, what the hell?
Absolutely.
Like, what
Yep.
are you doing? Like because I think Barrios has this year and then the contract
And then it
extension,
was up. Yeah.
and then the contract extension kicks in. You wanted to get that extension in ASAP because then it's just the what's it called, oh my god, the panic that
Yes.
if his value ends up going up even more than
Then
what
he's got
happened.
leverage. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
So
then just another, this is like my fantasy just because of what's going on with my team, and we have zero starting pitchers with everyone leaving with the Dodgers. There was a report done by Ken Rosenthal. This was like at the beginning of the offseason that the Dodgers were going to get, they were going to trade for both Sonny Gray and Luis Castillo in like a blockbuster, like get both of them from Cincinnati and get in a blockbuster deal. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that because I feel like one of the names that's going to have to go on the Dodgers end is Bobby Miller, who's their first round pick from 2019, and he's expected to be in the MLB like in 2 years from now. But another pitcher that I was also looking at for the Dodgers' sake was Sean Manaea of the Oakland Athletics. I think he could be an interesting piece for maybe like mid-level prospects, definitely. But I think one other trade that I had was Wilson Contreras going to the San Francisco Giants. This will be the last one before we end it. Contreras going to the Giants, and in return, the Chicago Cubs get Patrick Bailey, who's one of the San Francisco Giants' top catching prospects. I just think with Buster Posey leaving, sorry, came out.
Poser.
Yeah, Buster Posey leaving. It just makes all the sense in the world for them to get Wilson Contreras. And I mean, the Cubs are obviously in a rebuild stage, and I think Patrick Bailey can just fill in for Contreras, or they just like find someone else. And I mean, they just want. Yeah.
Can I ask quickly how Joey Bart sort of fits into that situation? Because that really complicates things in San Francisco.
That's the direction they want to take.
Because because like the thing with the Giants is like they got to compete still. Like, do you really just want to have that 1 year wonder season where like you were only expected to win 70 games, you ended up winning 107? Like, I feel like they just got to continue to compete. And I think Joey Bart, I love him. I just think he still has a couple more years left. And Wilson Contreras has already proven to be a power hitting catcher.
So do you see them trading Bart, or do you see him now having to wait behind another catcher for an opportunity to play?
It's tough. See, I feel like the Giants could roll a situation with what the Dodgers do with Will Smith and Austin Barnes, where you can catch Joey Bart for certain pitchers, and you could catch Wilson Contreras for certain pitchers. And I don't think that's a huge issue. Like, if you're going to have depth, why not it be at the catcher position where it's such a premium, almost similar to pitching, where like Joey Bart's great, but I think they kind of need to like milk him into the MLB still. And I think just having Wilson Contreras allows Joey Bart to develop at an appropriate time.
And I don't want to beat the dead horse here, but Wilson Contreras is also a right-handed bat, something that they need, which is also interesting. But no, I think if I'm the Giants, I do want to go with Joey Bart. And I understand where you're coming from, Evan, and it makes a lot of sense if they can do it.
I don't want them to do this, but like, well, obviously, I'm thinking from an unbiased, like I'm trying to think from an unbiased point of view.
And it is a premium in the league. If you have a catcher combo 1-2 with maybe more of a veteran presence with power, and then not a rookie, but a youngster, it's something that not many teams do have the capability of doing. But Joey Bart also played in the shadow of the great Buster Posey. I wonder how much that affects, because I've played in front of some great players.
He's been waiting a long time.
He's been waiting a long time, and I feel like a greater player learning from him, like a mentor that is Buster Posey, who I'd consider probably the best catcher that I have grown up watching. I think you give him a shot.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, look, maybe this is a trade that happens not like immediately, like heading into the season, but maybe if Joey Bart doesn't work out, then they give the Cubs a call. Look, I mean, he's only had a small sample size, so I can't really rip on him, but you know, maybe they just see how it works out. And if it doesn't work out, then you consider the 1A, 1B stint similar to like what some teams do. And it ends up working out. Like it's 182 game season, 182, right? 162. I'm so sorry with the 82 games and everywhere else. Little hard. 162. Obviously, a catcher isn't going to want to play 162 games. Like it still could.
Oh, they can't play 162 games. So a catcher rarely plays that many.
Like games. I still think even in LA, I'll still compare it to like Will Smith and Dodgers. Like Austin Barnes still catches about like 40 to 50 games a year, and it allows Will Smith to be fresh in the playoffs. And if the Giants want to be a wild card team, I think a Wilson Contreras trade would make the most sense for them. But I think that's it. You guys have any other final thoughts? I mean, I had more potential trades to go to. I actually, like with Craig Kimbrell, I had him going to Philly when you were talking about Kenley Jansen. I thought an interesting one was Mitch Haniger. He's in Seattle, right? Or Tampa Bay? Tampa Bay. Yes. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Tampa Bay. I had Mitch Haniger going to the San Diego Padres just because they need power in the outfield. I'm not sold on their outfield. I thought he's a guy who quietly hit 30 home runs. Paul DeYoung, I actually had going to I had him going to Colorado to fill the void of Trevor Story, and I had Colorado giving up top shortstop prospect Ezekiel Tovar. I thought that could be interesting. if Colorado at least wants to stay relevant. I think that would just be great for Paul DeJong to at least revitalize his career and then get a big payday somewhere else. Just given how it's a lot easier to hit home runs in Colorado with the elevation, I think that could be interesting. And then final ones I had was Sonny Gray also to the Angels for a few mid-level prospects, and Michael Fulmer. I know we were talking about in our group chat.
Yeah.
Cross that one off, Mario. You know what we're talking. I had him going to San Diego too when they lost Mark Melanson, but you guys said that they weren't.
I don't really think that's a fit. I think Detroit's committed to Fulmer. I think they're going to.
Yeah, it was like I was bored at home thinking of what possible trades could happen, and I was trying not to make every trade go to the Dodgers, but it was. It also I also just know you're not going to get everyone, but
I think the beauty of it, like we could go at this for days. I've got like Matt Olson to Milwaukee in here, and that's
I like that one. They need a power bat. They struggled with runs last year.
Wait, Matt Olson's a first baseman.
Matt Olson, first baseman to Milwaukee.
Here's
the trade I have drawn up.
The
trade I have drawn up here is for Aaron Ashby, Eduardo Garcia, and Rowdy Tellez.
I was gonna say you have to have Tellez going the other way because then it doesn't make sense. But I mean, God, it's just baseball. There's so many players, so many teams. Like, God, you could talk about this for days.